Good morning and welcome to the third episode in our Meridian series. So we are using yin poses to target specific meridians throughout the body throughout this series. Each meridian is relating to different emotions, so we've moved through inner strength and courage to compassion and empathy, and today we are working on direction, movement and flexibility, not so much with the body, but more working on that flexibility within us, the ability to surrender and just release control away. So we're going to start off today in a nice gentle pose. We're going to send our legs wide, and you tailor this to your own body. Your legs could be super close or super far. You choose your own poses in yin. You make them work around your body, not the other way around. We're going to begin to soften the feet, soften the whole body. Maybe we relax the arms down, maybe we reach the arms forwards. Allow yourself to make it your own. Whether we are upright or a little bit more forwards, we begin to soften through the target area. If we do have a bolster or a pillow, you could align that out in front of you. Begin to soften through the arms, the areas that are holding you upright. Begin to soften through the shoulders, the back, the glutes, the areas that often switch on and resist gravity, resist the pose. Begin to soften through the forehead, the jaw, the areas that often resist calm, resist the present. Often when the mind wanders back in time or forwards to the hypothetical future, we'll begin to carry that tension within our face. So rather than forcing ourselves to push thoughts away or release them if it doesn't feel natural or easy to do so, you can just shift your awareness back to the face muscles. Allow them to soften, and often with that, the thought will just flow away. As we soften in yin, often the poses begin to feel more and more gentle, more and more welcome. More and more enjoyable. It's often thought that the resistance to the poses is what makes them uncomfortable. The active switching on, the pushing away of gravity, pushing away from the mat, the activation of the muscles in that static hold can make the poses feel like a lifetime. But the more we just release and sink and surrender, the poses begin to feel enjoyable, so much so that we don't want them to end. Speaking of, this is the end of our dragonfly, so we're going to gently guide ourselves upright. Now you might feel quite tender, quite sensitive throughout the inner hips, all the way down to the inner ankles, so you can use your arms here to move your legs. We're going to take a counter pose, which is simply laying on your tummy. This is a really nice counter pose. It's one of my favorites. You can just allow yourself to relax down. Soften down through the front body. Close down your eyes if that feels okay for you. Yin energies relate to darkness, stillness, slowness. So closing down the eyes can help guide us into that state. But if we are maybe arriving in more of a yang energy, it might take us a little while to feel comfortable to close down those eyes. When you're feeling ready, going to tuck the toes, push the hands underneath your shoulders, lift your tummy away from the floor, and slide your left leg under and through, coming into your sleeping swan. Now from here, we're going to forward fold, place your forearms down on the floor. You could even place them underneath your forehead. If it feels too intense, then we can absolutely place a bolster lengthways or horizontally underneath our body for extra support. Make this pose your own. Make sure that you feel comfortable to release and relax down in a way that feels right for your body. And once you've found your perfect version of this pose, we begin to soften and sink. We allow gravity to melt us deeper. We switch off any resistance to the pose. We breathe deeply, allow a ballooning of the belly. Similarly to how poses begin to increase in enjoyment, we feel that dissipation of tension throughout the course of each pose. The same can often happen for the practice as a whole. When we arrive on the mat, the silence and stillness of yin can feel really intense, uncomfortable. It can feel like something we need to fidget through, something we need to fill. It can feel unproductive. Yin is not about being productive. However, ironically, it is one of the most productive things we can do for ourselves. Sometimes all our body needs, all our energy, all our mind needs is to rest, to function even better. To be more harmonious, to be more aligned. When you're feeling ready, we gently push into our hands. We slide that leg back and we come back into our prone lying position, dropping down to the floor. And just being aware of how the body feels here. As we progress through our poses, we often find that each pose feels so enjoyable by the end of each pose that we don't want to leave. We'd like to stay in that pose, falling deeper and deeper. And the same can often be said for the yin practice itself. That yin energy at the start can feel intense, uncomfortable. The silence can make the thoughts seem even louder. Sitting with discomfort in the poses or sitting silently as emotions arise. All of those things can be uncomfortable. They can be things that we normally distract ourselves from or Look outwards rather than inwards. But by the end of the practice, as we've shifted more into that yin-like state, that stillness and that silence feels so welcome, so enjoyable. Something we need. It feels aligned. When you're feeling ready, we push ourselves gently up. We slide that right leg through. Make sure this feels right for your body. We're not thinking so much about fitting the perfect aesthetic of a pose in yin. It doesn't matter if the shin is not perfectly aligned with the front of the mat. The foot doesn't have to be flexed. The hips don't have to be squared off. In yin, each pose works around your body, not the other way around. Begin to sink, begin to melt. Allow a switching off of every muscle from the hips down to the toes. From the hips up to the shoulders. I often find, rather than saying to the body, be still, be heavy, surrender, melt, you can focus instead on one area at a time. The target area first, which is the hips, the legs. Then areas that we know holds tension, the shoulders and the neck, the hips, the back. Then the yang area, which might be holding us up. Here, the arms are dictating how deep we go into this pose. So you might find that you are subconsciously pushing a little bit into the arms to monitor how much you fall. So if it feels okay for you to do so, we soften completely through the arms, through the hands, each fingertip. Then the areas that we breathe into, the chest, the belly. Allowing the breath to move your body more and more, gently deepening you with every breath into the pose, in a way that we're not controlling, we're just allowing that movement of breath to guide us deeper. Then the face, from the crown down to the jaw. Then your whole body is completely relaxed and heavy. Gravity has sunk your body to the deepest possible point, your edge, the point where you couldn't go any deeper. This point is not accompanied by any sensations of pain, no sharpness. It's an overall deep stretch. The more we sink, the more tension dissipates. Like when you have a massage and you're working into an area that holds tension. It requires some intensity, some firmness, breathing through a little bit more pressure, a little bit more stress, in order to dissipate tension, in order to release away what we hold in a specific area. From the outside, yin looks very gentle, very passive and easy. But on the inside, it's a completely different story. It's a constant balance of compassion and discipline. The poses feel so intense, yet we breathe through them in stillness and silence. We're always showing our body as much compassion as possible, never pushing ourselves past our limits. Yet we are strong and allowing ourselves to face those limits, sitting at the very edge. Finding your boundary and resting there. Surrendering down, melting down physically, in order to do so emotionally and energetically too. We use the body as a vessel, and the rest of the self follows suit. When you're feeling ready, slowly making your way up, and we come back into our lovely prone lying counter pose. We sit all the way down to the floor, with the chest, with the tummy, with the hips. Pay attention to the sensations you feel in your hips. Sensation of movement, energy flowing through the area that you've been compressing or stressing or stretching. It can be really tempting to bounce the legs or fidget through the counter poses, but the stillness is so good for your body and mostly for your energy. Notice how much movement there is in your body whilst you're laying completely still. Flow of prana through the meridians where we've just been targeting that area. The blood flow through your body. The heartbeat in your chest. The breath moving into your belly. Your body is always so busy. Your energy is so smart. It knows what to do without you having to do anything at all. Just allowing yourself to rest invites that flow, that abundance of prana or chi, energy, life force, however you choose to view the energy that we work with in yin. So we're going to grab a pillow or a bolster here. So we're coming into our frog pose. Now, if we do not feel comfortable with frog pose, I'm going to show you an alternative. We would take the bolster away. We would guide left hand into a little right angle. Right leg comes out to the right side of the room. Right arm out to the right side. This is our alternative. We would then swap sides onto the other side when you feel ready. If we do feel comfortable with frog pose or some variation, we're going to draw the bolster lengthways underneath the body. We lower the chest down first today. Option 1, sink your knees back. The feet come into one another. So from a bird's eye view, your legs are like a diamond. Option 2, your knees come all the way forwards. Your toes come together. So from a bird's eye view, your legs are maybe more of a heart shape, coming out, up, and then down and together. Option 3 is our traditional frog. From a bird's eye view, each leg is a perfect right angle. The knees are parallel, directly out by the side of your hips. The shins are parallel with the walls by your side. The feet start flexed, but then we soften. Breathing deeply here. Allow a heaviness. Allow complete releasing of control. We're not controlling how deep we go into the mat, into the pose, into the hips. We're just surrendering, allowing the weight of the body to be guided even deeper with every breath. We're always looking for that perfect balance between compassion and discipline. Sometimes we'd like to make the pose a little bit more restorative. Maybe we bring the ground up to us with a bolster. Whilst other days we lean more into the simplicity of the hard ground, the weight of the body, gravity, all working together to make it a little bit more of an intense pose. We allow our practice to meet where we're at that day, but it's always in that same bracket where both compassion and discipline coexist. It's never so gentle that our mind can freely wander away, but it's never so intense that we're pushing ourselves past our point of comfort or our boundaries. It's always somewhere in between. Having the intensity of the poses, the sensations, these help keep us present. We always have something to focus on. We can always notice how the breath deepens us, how it changes the intensity that we feel. Maybe we feel an ebbing and flowing, an increase on the inhale, a dissipation on the exhale. A nourishing of the muscles and the area that we're targeting. The sensations of the pose help keep us present. When you're feeling ready, gently take the hands underneath the elbows and we push gently up. We slowly move away. we're going to draw to one side and come into a counter pose. So moving the bolster away very slightly. Gently come down onto your back. Draw your knees together, like so. Inhale deeply here. Okay. When we're feeling ready, we're moving into our last pose. We're doing one on each side of sleeping deer. So we draw our bolster nice and close towards us. We draw our thigh to the base of our bolster. We start off with the sole of one foot touching the knee of the other leg, and then we gently send that leg back. If that feels far too much on the inner hip, guide it back. It's absolutely fine to do this pose with the legs touching. If we do feel comfortable, we swivel round and we can lower the chest down onto the bolster and we hug the bolster. Inhale here. This should feel really lovely. The whole body is held and supported. The whole body can relax down here. It's normal for your mind to wander. Often you'll find that throughout the practice the mind begins to wander a little bit less as we bring the body into stillness, as we allow the breath to be slow. Often, progressively, the mind begins to follow and enter into that yin-like state. The nervous system begins to calm. The energy becomes overall more yin. We place no pressure on ourselves arriving here. Some days we'll practice yin and end the session feeling just as yang, and that is absolutely fine. Yin is all about accepting exactly where you're at today. We send love and compassion to ourselves. We approach everything from a place of acceptance and allowing. If a thought arrives, we allow it. We observe it. We don't pull it in for further conversation. We don't push it away and reject it. We just accept that that is part of our present moment. The lack of resistance in either direction, alongside the intensity of the poses which draws us back to present, allows the thought to release away relatively easily. And when we do this time and time again throughout the entire practice, continually observing when the mind has wandered, allowing that thought to exist, not rejecting it, not pulling it in and considering it part of our identity or something we've created, not giving it more weight than it should have. Eventually this becomes habit. Eventually off the mat, we're able to notice more and more when we're not present and gently guide ourselves back into the present. When you're feeling ready, we slowly make our way up. We're going to swap onto the other side. Be mindful of how we transition from side to side. Yin is not about those perfect smooth transitions. It's all about being super mindful of where you hold tension or where you felt that pose, and just treating that area very softly, very compassionately. So we start with the legs in this nice square. And then if it feels right, we send that leg back. We gently twist round, framing the bolster, and then gently dropping down. Allowing a heaviness. Allow your legs and your body to fall into your perfect version of this pose. Often as we release the muscles, you'll find that your pose begins to look a little bit different, and that's absolutely fine. You might start with the legs closer together, and as you relax, they might splay wider, they might come together more. Doesn't matter where we land or how it looks. Yin is all about how the pose feels. Often at the start of class, we need a little bit more conversation, a little bit more reminder to continually return to present. But near the end of class, silence is often a little bit more welcome. Often when we start our day with Yin, you'll find yourself reaching a little bit less for external distractions, because silence feels just as comfortable, if not more welcome, than noise. If we end our day with Yin, we often find it a little bit easier to drift off into that sleepy state, because we're already in that energy of surrender, letting go of the day, letting go of control, just allowing yourself to exist, allowing yourself to be heavy and soft. When you're feeling ready, we slowly make our way up and we're coming into our supine pose. If we do have our bolster or a pillow, then you can place that underneath your knees, so that when you come down, you have a little bit of elevation underneath the legs. Allow your head to rest gently on the mat, or if you are in bed, then on a pillow. Allow your body to come down heavy, completely supported. The back of your body held by the ground beneath you, the bed beneath you, wherever you are. The front of your body is weightless and breathing easily. Observe areas of warmth within your body. observe areas of coolness. Observe areas of movement, the belly rising and falling, the heart beating in the chest, prana or chi moving through the areas that we've targeted. And then observe areas of stillness, the feet completely still, the elbows resting heavy. Just observe all these different parts of the body, areas of tension, areas of relaxation. Draw your full awareness down to the hips. Observe how heavy they feel rested on the ground. Observe how they feel held. Supported. Through the back, on the left side, and the right side. Through the left shoulder, and the right shoulder. Through the left elbow, and the right elbow. Through the head, through the legs, through the whole body. Heavy and supported. Observe areas of movement within your body. The movement of blood flow, the movement of breath, areas of warmth or coolness, tingling. You might notice in some areas you have a almost stagnant energy, where energy wants to move. Imagine energy traveling through those areas, through the meridian system. The meridian system looks like the roots of a tree. Channels bursting wider and wider, moving from the tips of the toes all the way up to the very top of the head. Ley lines that cross your entire being, that carry this life force. Consider energy or prana moving and surging through these areas. With every breath, with every beat of the heart, and without you having to do anything at all, other than lay and rest here. Sometimes the less we do, the less we control and the more we allow, the easier it is to tap back into that authentic self, the highest self. The easier it is to fall back into alignment with our natural state of being, which is that perfect balance between yin and yang. Our days are often so yang, so in the energy of doing, deciding, reacting, responding, being productive. All we need to do is bring a little bit of balance by stepping back into our natural state of being and existing, returning to that state of just being a soul in a body. Notice the space around your body. Consider yourself radiating outside of your body. The energy that is within you overflowing. Observe how much space you take up intuitively, whether it's just around your body or whether you fill the whole room with your energy. Observe the colour of your energy. Observe how radiant it is, how brightly you shine. Observe whether it moves and pulsates or whether it's static, whether it spins. A lot of these things will arrive intuitively. And don't worry if you see nothing at all. There is no right or wrong here. We're just existing and observing what intuitively comes to us. When you're feeling ready, as slowly as you can, begin to bring a little bit of movement into your body, into the toes, into the arms, into the side body. And then when you're feeling ready, we roll onto one side. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you next episode for lungs, the lung meridian.